Carl Junction student takes advantage of a unique school supply. Action 12's Ike Ajachi joins us in the newsroom with more. And Ike, what new tool is being used in Carl Junction?
Jennifer, the school purchased a 3D printer for students to experiment with. Now, although the machine is rarely used by the student body, one senior is showing faculty just how useful it really is.
The news segment begins with Jennifer Primate, who was one of 417 magazine's top single women in the 4 states area, and whose name would be more sensible as Jennifer Pinata, because I would hit her single butt up. Introducing, most likely, the most famous Ike Ajachi to have ever lived, and ever to live, judging from the global warming's expected effect on our planet, who, in turn, introduces our friend James Bearden.
Meet James Bearden. He seems to be your typical A student.
Calculus, APLA, AP Bio, chemistry.
Ike, along with a series of interesting head turns, claims that James just stumbled into the humbling 3-D printer one day. While Ike claims that James Bearden, or Bearden as he calls him, appears to be your typical A student, I disagree. James is much too short to be typical and also has a lisp. At this point, the segment shows James narcissistically listing off difficult classes that he is taking as if they are nothing.
Wasn't until he stumbled into his school's library last October and noticed the brand new 3D printer sitting in a corner.
I didn't even know about it until I came back to school, and I didn't mess with it until about a couple months after we started.
He'd never used a 3D printer before, so his curiosity got the best of him.
I researched, and it's turned out not to be nearly as hard as you would think, so I just started building whatever I wanted.
Now here is where the bizarre twist comes in. As James sultrily, lovingly caresses his lengthy nylon thread, Ike points out that James' curiosity is getting the better of him, and the boy stops rubbing his string to adjust its holster. James states that it's actually pretty easy. Unfortunately, it is not known whether he is referring to 3D printing or tugging his cord.
The 3D printer leaks its hardening fluid onto the metal plate. Look at that runny plastic ooze into place. Oh yes.
Bearden has made several things using the printer since last fall. Right now, he's working on a strand beast. It's a contraption that can walk, and it's inspired by a Dutch inventor.
It stands like this. Right now I can't do it because there's no grip. I'm not done, obviously, but that'll be the major thing.
Ike fails to put the shattered pieces of his life together as he mispronounces strand beast, a type of contraption which James is attempting to build. James flops around on the spot like a suffocating fish while trying to flaunt his current creation. He laments that he is far too lazy to have completed the project in time for the interview as he stutters away from the camera.
Although his dreams lie in a different field,
My dream job would be to work at the LHC in Switzerland, the Large Hadron Collider.
James carries on about how much of a massive geek he is, while Ike smiles and nods behind the camera.
You know, particle accelerators, where they take the protons and they spin them around and smash them.
Bearden says his work with the 3D printer is a good starting point from which he could branch off of. He hopes his work will inspire the school to develop more tools for students to learn from.
The poor sap actually thinks that dripping plastic on a piece of metal will get him somewhere in life. James believes his dumpy little side project will actually matter in the lives of future students of Carl Junction.
I would love to see engineering classes, maybe Carl Junction sponsoring like a big, you know, like the science fairs you see in movies, like big science fair.
Bearden plans to build a dragon as a final project for the 3D printer. Now, for college, Jennifer, he is already waiting for a response from the top Ivy Leagues in the country.
Attempting to hide the poorly timed transition, Ike is mistakenly confident that James's final project, a dragon, will turn out better than the origami scorpion that he attempted to make sophomore year. Ike states that James is reportedly waiting for responses from top colleges. Who cares? We all are.
Back to you.
A very smart young man. Thank you for the report, Ike.
Finally, the cut goes back to the gorgeous Jennifer Pineapple. Thank God!